You open this door with the key of reason. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of truth, a dimension of freedom, a dimension of joy. You're moving into the land of both the ideal and the real, of the possible and the actual. You've just crossed over into the capitalist corner.
Where reason meets reality, welcome to the capitalist corner.
That's right, folks, where reason meets reality. Welcome to your island of reason in a sea of irrationality. This is the Capitalist Corner. I am your host, Mark Pellegrino, and also the chairman of the American Capitalist Party, along with my co-host and vice chair of the American Capitalist Party, Michael Leibowitz, who also has a multiplicity of his own shows going on simultaneously now. It used to just be The Rational Egoist, but now it's Self-Made Soul with me on Saturdays. Don't forget to check that out. 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. And he's also got Everyday Ethics going on every day at 2, right?
At 2:30, yeah.
2:30.
I'm wicked pissed right now here.
Eastern. Why are you wicked pissed? Why are you wicked pissed?
All right. I'm not pissed anymore. Because it was saying broadcast not available on X. And I'm like, what the hell?
No, I just retweeted us on X. So it's there, man.
I know you didn't.
Yes, I did. I just did.
Oh my God. Why me?
Well, not why you look, and then you're gonna regret. You're gonna give me an apology at the end of the day. So tell us what's going on your show.
Okay, so I'm looking at it right now, the live on X, and it has not been retweeted. Okay, what you did was retweeted the YouTube.
What?
I need you to retweet.
I did.
No, well, it's not. It's saying no. So I just sent it to you. I texted it to you.
I'll do it again. There you go. I'll repost twice. There you go.
All right. There it goes. Okay, nice.
Yeah. See, so you got all mad for no reason, Mike. It's good to be back. I gotta say, getting my balls busted within 2 seconds of being on the show.
All right, let me figure this out here. Okay, so can I just tell you a funny story before we really get into anything else?
Go ahead.
So the other day, I got to leave the house. I go to my spot where my car key is, and it's not there. And I'm like, where the hell is my key? So I look all around the house, no key. I said, well, maybe I dropped it outside. I went outside. I looked all around. Subby's helping me, looking all around. Every time I'm going back and forth in the driveway, I'm looking around. I'm wondering where the hell's the key. So finally I said, well, you know what? I guess I just got to bite the bullet and pay the $2.25 to have the locksmith come and make me a new key. So the locksmith gets here today. It's absolutely pouring rain here in South Windsor, Connecticut. So he finishes up with the key. He texts me. He says, all right, I'm done. So now I want to run outside to pay him. And then I want to haul ass back inside. So I run outside. And as I run inside, I instinctually grab my pockets. Because when I'm wearing my sweatpants, if I run, things fly out of my pockets. So when I grab my pockets, I say, I wonder if that's what happened, if the key flew out of my pocket. I look down, and right in front of me in the driveway was the key, as I'm on my way to pay for the new key. But I said, well, you know what? It's a funny story to tell. So there you go.
Okay.
So now at least I got a spare key. But I don't think that key, I'm telling you, man, I looked in that spot. I looked up and down. I think the dogs got a hold of that key and then have been whipping it around, and that's just the last place they put it. That's what I think.
Is that what you think? Does that save you from the diagnosis of early stage dementia?
No, nothing saves me. I still dropped the key wherever I dropped it. I'm still the Dunsky that dropped the key.
So, Michael, I'm having issues with my internet, so you're going to probably have to scroll through the articles for me.
Oh, don't start that. You're here once a month, and we're already going to start this.
It has to be that way. I also have to give my little disclaimer, folks. This show is not in no way affiliated with the American Capitalist Party. If you want to know what the American Capitalist Party policies are, go to americancapitalistparty.org. Sign up, donate, be a part of the change. A lot of things are happening, I think, over in Alabama that may give us some traction over there. And, of course, Georgia, we're forming a new chapter. over there, folks. So we're starting to move in ways that I think will be significant, particularly for the 2028 election cycle. I think the off cycle showed us something with respect to President Trump and the public acceptance of his apologies, or lack of acceptance. Trump is trying to tell us that things are going great. The American public sees that things are not entirely to their liking, certainly not what he promised. And so they're not buying it, folks. They're not buying the grift. And so in the off-cycle elections, he lost big time. And if he at any Trump-affiliated candidates, mostly lost. He lost in states that he was winning by like 20 points. This is a significant piece of news, not just for Trump and the MAGA movement to reassess its values, which they will not do, but for the Democrats who are sort of trying to figure out how to win, and for the American Capitalist Party, who can offer itself as the real alternative to statism. So right now we have the two statist tribes warring over who gets power and which tribe gets to distribute your values to their particular constituents. And we are the alternative, where we say, no, the government doesn't distribute other people's property to some politically powerful group. It's only there to protect your individual rights. And so they stay out of your life, folks, until you need them, and you need them for protection, nothing else. Not to get one up on your competitor, not to have special privileges that enable you to steal from other people, but to live your life and pursue your values as you see fit. So we offer that real alternative here. So I think we're at that crossroads, Michael, where we can have some actual impact in the political world. I'm looking forward to this. Anyway.
Okay, let me tell you something. I got to read the article about what happened in Alabama. I have it in my queue. I'm like overwhelmed with stuff. So I'm going to get to that.
I don't know. I mean,
hold on. I'm telling you about me, and you immediately jump in with a story top.
No. I'm agreeing with you.
No. I said I'm overwhelmed, and you said, yeah, me too. And then you're going to launch and tell us your story.
It
was my turn.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, I gotta read that article, and I gotta get Alan on the rational egoist. That's something else that I gotta do. Alan or Alex, the guy has so many names, no one can really keep track. We got some questions, because remember, it is Q&A day after all. But
I forgot about that. It's been so long.
Okay. I want to just talk about something real quick. A pet peeve of mine are dumb old friends. So I have a lot of dumb old friends. And my dumb old friends like to comment sometimes on my Facebook stuff.
Okay.
And it's annoying to me. So much so that I have cousins once that started to comment, and I asked them nicely, can you please not put me in this position? And the position that I'm asking them not to put me in is to make them look ridiculous, because they're my cousins. I don't want to make them look ridiculous. And I've got friends that do the same thing. And it's just, look, guys, you're just not knowledgeable about this stuff, right? Go talk about your yard sale or your yard work, anything but coming around to harass me with your uninformed opinions. So that is a pet peeve that I'm having right now in my life. But we've got some questions. So I want to go, and we'll take first we'll go with M. Deagle, because this is an easy one. Mike, did you in any way keep up with new tech while in prison? Haphazardly, yes. Obviously, I'm on the telephone, so I know, and I'm watching television, so I know a lot of the new stuff. My last 6 months or so, they gave us tablets. The tablets that they gave us, of course, are outdated, but nevertheless, it was not a giant adjustment coming out of prison. I knew there was Facebook. I knew there was Twitter, for instance. I knew about, your smartphones and all that stuff. I just had to learn how to use them. So in a way, yes, I did keep up with it. So now we've got this question here. The question is from Ian Gilmore. Did you guys watch Ben Shapiro's speech at TPUSA? Did it strike you as hypocritical, since he never acknowledged that for years he was one of the people who promoted Candace Owens? Okay, I did not. I didn't watch the speech. I didn't read the speech. I have seen an abundance of comments on the speech. And one of the things, and I actually reposted this on X, that I found interesting was somebody commented on how Ben Shapiro destroyed Tucker Carlson. which isn't that hard. This guy's a nut. I mean, you know, with his demons and flying demons and whatever. But, and so Tom Woods, you know, the libertarian, says, oh, they're only against Tucker because of one reason. Now, the implication is it has to do with Israel, with Jews, right? And he says, why is it that everybody opposes him based on this one issue? Some such thing like that, Tom Woods said. So I responded, okay, well, why is it that libertarians are so fond of defending a guy who is publicly came out against libertarian economics? Why are some libertarians so apt to defend this guy unless it's for that one reason? Right?
Because what did Tom say?
He doesn't, he's never responded to me. He responded to you. He doesn't respond to me. I have a lot of people have told me how smart this guy is, how much they respect this guy, blah, blah, blah. I'm not seeing it. And I'm not saying that because he criticizes Israel. I'm just talking about his takes in general.
So
I don't find him to be very insightful. I liked
him for about a year, and then he started going off the rails. Once he started quoting John C. Calhoun as an intellectual guiding states' rights philosophy, I started to lose interest in him. And then, you know, he jumped on the Dave Smith bandwagon against Israel for all the wrong reasons that the libertarians do. I mean, some of the right reasons, in that they don't like war and they don't like funding foreign countries and funding wars in foreign countries, but it just lacks context completely. It drops so much of it that it's not worthy of consideration. So he's dropped off my radar. I don't know what Ben Shapiro said at this thing. I've been working for the last few days, like 14-hour days, so I haven't been paying attention to the news at all. So what was the gist of it, Michael? You know from the comments. No, you know from the comments.
I've just said that basically what he did was he just went through the litany of you know, the dishonesty on Tucker Carlson's part, that sort of thing. I didn't listen to it, so all I saw was the claims on one hand, how Ben Shapiro utterly destroyed Tucker Carlson, and on the other hand, how Ben Shapiro is just a shill for Israel. That's the two sides. That's what they're saying.
See, yeah, Ian says he never acknowledged it for years. He was one of the people who promoted Candace Owens. I mean, for a while, I thought she was a voice of sanity too. I mean, it's only been the last few years that she's come out as a complete and total grifter, or just absolutely insane. I mean, I didn't see that in the beginning.
No, because she was probably here's the problem with grifters, with people like that. She was probably saying things with which you agreed. So It seems she's sane. The problem is, does she actually believe what she's saying?
Right.
And it would seem, well, who the hell knows? I think she's got a few screws loose.
It would seem so. It would seem.
Let me just tell you, I'm going to say something that might be controversial, maybe not. Had she been a middle-aged white male saying the things that she was saying, she would not have been promoted by conservatives. She was promoted by conservatives because she's a pretty black lady
who was saying things anti-BLM.
They liked. Yeah. So that's why they promoted her. So Persephone wants to know what you guys think of the new Trump plaques, the plaques that he put up. This guy's such an immature asshole. And these assholes out there that are saying, oh yeah, Trump, yeah, liberal tears. Shut the fuck up. God, you guys are just such annoying, immature pussies. It's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, look, they're getting my dander up. Persephone's not helping. It's just too much with this guy. It's with the stuff the other day. Don't hold on there, sport. Hold on. So the other day, all the things on the internet after Rob Reiner was killed, you notice how conservatives don't celebrate. Notice how conservatives are respectful. Then Trump comes out with his nonsense. Then there's an abundance of other conservatives out there talking about got what he'd come in and blah, 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 whatever. And then it switched to, but the left did it first. The left did it. And then to, oh, you grow up, you're snowflakes. Oh, you're upset by mean tweets. These people are just not serious. They're a bunch of grifters, trolls, liars, douchebags, etc. And I'm fucking over it. Like I can't believe in the United States of America we've elected this idiot And people are following by the millions the idiot grifters that promote and defend him. It's utterly ridiculous.
Michael, we got a super fucking chat from Jenna who says,
Oh, I stopped that, by the way. I've no more of that.
Why?
Because it's too much.
I noticed
it's
you didn't
too much.
I noticed you didn't do it. I thought you were just trying to maintain a veil of respectability with your guest yesterday.
No. It's just, it takes too much effort, and I don't think the bang is there. It's just, it was fun the first day. You're free to do it if you want. It's your show too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you got to take a deep breath, buddy. You're going to pop a blood vessel. I just want you to know.
Thank you, Jenna.
Yeah, thank you for saving Michael from popping a blood vessel. We don't want to see that. That would be an ugly thing to experience live on social media. Michael, you're going to have to get to the topics of the day since there are a dearth of questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, folks. Like it and subscribe to it on YouTube. Share it across your social media platforms so that the message of a rugged individualism and individual rights gets out there in the world, because we need more of it. That's the alternative to the statist establishment that we have out there today, folks. So Michael's going to pull up the articles, and we'll start talking about them. If you have your questions, please submit them. This is Q&A Friday. They could be about pretty much anything, folks. But if we can keep it narrowed down to political ideas and philosophy, that would be great.
What do you think about this? I'm going to read this. This is in first. There was this post from Jack Posobiec, one of the people that I'm talking about. Who starts off how respectful conservatives are and ends by saying you're just upset about mean tweets. So he says, he posts this thing and it says, why does this post threaten so many people? First of all, I don't know that it does. It doesn't threaten me, but what it does is it tracks people, whether your ancestors go back to 1607 through 1789 or 1789 through 1861 or post Ellis Island, or then after that. Basically, they're talking about this blood and soil garbage that our vice president is involved with. So I was looking for good articles on it, but what I ultimately settled on was just I asked AI what this Heritage American stuff is. So AI says a Heritage American is a term gaining traction in right-wing circles for people with deep ancestral roots in the U.S., often implying ties to Anglo-Protestant culture, with proponents like C.J. Engel and figures like J.D. Vance pushing the idea as a way to define true American identity beyond mere legal citizenship, emphasizing shared European ancestry, language, and traditions. It means that you have an ancestral connection, focus on long-standing presence, cultural identity. It's all just garbage. And I just am so disappointed, I guess is just a way that this stuff gains traction in the United States of America is sickening to me.
Yeah, it kills me because some of these same people, Michael, will talk about American exceptionalism without even understanding what American exceptionalism really means. It means that we're the first country in the civilized world that doesn't identify by heritage, that doesn't identify by these kinds of superficial metrics, but by the ideal of human liberty. I mean, that is such a significant innovation in the world of politics and social ethics. The fact that the conservatives haven't been trying to conserve that and have chosen instead to go to this tribal ethics is really, really disturbing. And that's why I think we're at the perfect crossroads for a party like the American Capitalist Party to get in there and really affect some change, folks. Change that we really need.
Yeah, there's also there's a couple posts on X that I commented on today. Stefan Molyneux, I think is his name. I don't know. Molyneux. Yeah. He said he has a post. If you're not white, tell the world what you really like and admire about white people. So I put, I'm white and I don't like and admire anything about white people, nor do I like and admire anything about anyone else based on race or ethnicity. It's just so stupid. The race baiting that takes place all over the place. It's disgusting. It's collectivism. It's garbage. And we have a super chat from Robert Naser. Bitter clingers, clinging to their heritage, equating race with Western civilization. Gee, what a new idea. That's not classic racism at all. Yes, Robert. Robert is right as usual, except for when he agrees with Mark and James over me.
Which is probably 90% of the time. Thank you, Robert, for your super chat. Mr. Deagle asked, what does make someone an American? I actually responded to this tweet, Michael, and I said, one who believes in his individual right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what makes somebody an American. So you can be an American and live in
That's
any
not
other
what makes somebody an American. You're wrong again.
No, I'm not.
You're wrong. What makes somebody an American is if they're an American citizen. Either they were born here or naturalized. It's really that simple.
No, it isn't. No. America is an idea, man. And if you hold that idea and those ideals, then you are American in my eyes. And that's why I've been all over the world, Michael. I can travel all over the world, unlike you. But I have been all over the world, and I have seen people from many, many, many different countries who are more American than native-born citizens. More American in their ideals, and would be more at home in America than they are in the countries of their birth. So I think it's an idea. I think it's an ideal. It's what makes us exceptional. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, America is a country founded on ideals. That's absolutely correct. There's no doubt about that. It's also a geographic area. It also has rules pertaining to citizenship. If you are a citizen of the United States of America, your beliefs do not matter. You are an American.
Correct. Well,
wow, you caved that quickly? Oh my God. I thought you'd at least try to defend your convictions. Oh my God, that was pathetic.
Well, I do think if you're a citizen, your conviction should be to preserve individual rights. That should be your conviction, not the opposite. But that would take us really off topic. No names. Thank you for €5 contribution through Super Chat. Sorry for the off-topic question. Pamela Anderson dating Liam Neeson. Yes, she is. Yes.
Why do you smile just thinking about Liam Neeson, Mark?
I'm not smiling just thinking about it. I'm smiling because of the running joke with Liam
and Tommy Lee as well.
Well, yeah, Tommy Lee as well. I mean, she seems to have a type. Let's just put it that way.
I noticed she didn't date you. I'm just saying.
She didn't.
How do I get this thing out of here right now?
What would be your response, Michael, to someone saying that USA is not just an economic zone? I think you already answered that question, but
I firmly believe in the idea that is America. There's no doubt about that. I do. And I think that people that live in this country ought to embrace the ideals. And I think that we need to keep fighting for those ideals. But as a matter of simple fact, a person is an American if they're an American citizen. The contrary to that, contrary is fine. If we say no, that doesn't make you an American. Okay, well then can we just start deporting people for wrong ideas? And that seems absurd to me.
Ian says that he's been associated and following objectivism for 30 years. He's never seen Molyneux associated with Ayn Rand. I have, however, but not formally by any objectivists. Most objectivists, I think, reject Molyneux.
But Mark, you have to give some context.
Yeah.
You have to give context. Why did Robert just say that? It didn't come out of nowhere.
What are you talking about?
Akira Felix said Stephen, or I think it's Stefan, Molyneux used to be very associated with Ayn Rand and objectivism. Obviously, he wasn't an objectivist, but a libertarian. And that's what Robert is responding to. Or Ian is responding to.
Well, I mean, he associated himself with Ayn Rand more than no objectivist did, or no, there was no formal association. It was just him, making claims.
All right. What next? What do you want to do next? Can you tell I'm in a mood today?
Yeah, I can tell. So,
wow, you sound disappointed.
Right. No, it's good. It's all right.
Oh, no.
He was an anarchist. He's also got some racist stuff going on there. If you watch or listen to his 3-hour course on slavery, you'll see that it's tainted with some Oh, not even the slavery. He has actually a fairly accurate history of slavery that he promoted many years ago. But he definitely has ideas respecting IQ and people of color and whites,
Oh,
and
Jesus Christ.
that do boil down to racist philosophies. And that's when I stopped listening to him.
Let me see. Eggs. Annie became religious, Mr. Deagle says. What do I think about
I
IQ?
lost him. I lost him before that. Yeah. What do you think?
What do you think about IQ? What do you think?
I think it's a combination of things. Obviously I think it's part nature, part nurture. So I think, people who are around an atmosphere that promotes education and intellectual activity will tend to have higher IQs, and those who are around an atmosphere that doesn't promote that kind of stuff will have lower IQs. I don't think it's a matter of race. I don't think you inherit a high IQ or a low IQ. You do inherit cultures that either respect being a student, respect pursuing values, and respect success across wide endeavors of human action, or you inherit a culture that doesn't. And that can definitely be an obstacle or help promote your growth, but it's not an end.
So this is, first of all, IQ is not predictive of success, from what I understand.
Absolutely not.
Unless new studies have been done. But I'll say this much for IQ tests. When I was 8 years old, I took an IQ test. My verbal IQ was 130. My performance IQ was in the 80s. So I have a learning disability on performance, Excel, and verbal. In 2001, I took a Mensa IQ test and I got full scale IQ 127. I recently took another Mensa test that I bought in a store. I got 127. That's 23 years later. I bought a bunch of books when I was in prison that measure IQ. Brent McCall and I, on a variety of IQ tests, always score the same. My friend Brent and I.
That's interesting.
Although we each excelled in different areas, but it came out the same. My point here is only that the IQ tests were consistent across tests and across years.
My wife took the Mensa test as well. Her IQ is like 150.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's like Jim Valiant.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the evolutionary capitalist here. Molyneux has a similar proof of the non-aggression principle called universal preferable behavior.
Oh yeah,
which ironically looks like argumentation ethics.
Oh, don't tell me he plagiarized argumentation ethics. That's funny. If you're both scoring the same, one of you is cheating. Oh.
Well, that would be no, because we were getting different scores in the different sub areas. So when you take these tests, they might have a math area, spatial recognition, word identification, things of that nature. And we weren't scoring the same on the individual components. We were getting the same at the end. Yeah, very interesting. Brent thought it was kind of creepy.
I took the IQ test as well. Turns out I'm pregnant. That's funny. All right. Did you want to hit another article, Michael?
The evolutionary capitalist, I just want to mention, I just found out yesterday that he actually debated Liquid Zulu. But really? I have not watched the debate. I'm kind of interested in that. How about the Jacobin article I sent you?
I only read 2 paragraphs of that because I can't stand the Jacobin, but go ahead. Let's talk about it.
You didn't read the article?
I read 2 paragraphs of it. Do I need to read more?
Yeah, dude. I mean,
know what the Jacobin is going to say about class politics.
Persephone, is this the videos all over again?
The videos?
Why am I hearing crying in the background? I hate that sound. I can't take a crying baby, Persephone. I'm sorry. That's too much.
A crying baby.
Do you like the sound of crying babies?
Well, as long as they're as long as they're not terrified or something terrible is happening to them. I love babies. I like the way they sound. I like it when they laugh. I like it when they cry. I like everything about babies. As long as somebody else cleans their diapers. No, I'm kidding.
Persephone says it's a screaming child, not a crying baby. I don't know.
Okay,
how to
Mike,
respond.
get on to the Jacobin article.
Why do you have a screaming child in your home, Persephone? What's happening? Do we need to call the authorities? I don't know. Okay, the Jacobin article. Anyway, yeah, we do need some weird names. It's been suggested you have your next door neighbor captive in your home, Persephone. Okay. I forgot what the hell I was talking about. Somebody says we need weird names like Liquid Zulu or Destiny. I like Leibowitz. Anyways, the article is all about what AOC needs to do if she's going to win the presidency in 2028. And this is going to shock everybody. This is a real shocker. This is breaking news. The Jacobin thinks that AOC needs to focus on class, poverty, wealth discrepancies, that sort of thing. I know. I was surprised too. It almost knocked me out, but that's what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, Marxists think that's the big unifying thing, right? That we don't share common heritages, or ethnicities, but we do share a common class struggle. This is their whole ideology. And so long as she focuses on that class struggle, she's going to win. Now, it's true, Michael, that I think the more Democrats focus on affordability and the more they focus on, I think, solutions to the affordability problem that aren't governmental in nature, of course, they could win this if they focus on affordability. They could potentially win it if they focus on human thriving, and they package their message in those terms. But they have to embrace the capitalist message to do that, and I'm not sure that anyone in the Democratic side is really prepared to do that, because they've essentially aligned themselves for the past almost 100 years with anti-capitalistic movement, which, as we know, has been now embraced by the right for the past several decades, which is why we're in the boat we're in right now, guys. So, but they can win the election, and that's all they're concerned about, Michael, is winning the freaking election if they embrace an abundance sort of mentality, which they are flirting with. They are flirting with that.
So Jenna Kleem from the website from last week wants to know if all parties in a grift are aware it is a grift, do both grifter and griftee get value from the transaction? This is going to depend a lot on what we mean by value. If by value you simply mean, are they getting what they want? Are they getting some sort of a immediate benefit from it? Then I would say yes. If we're talking about value in terms of life serving values, the objective values, then no, they're not, because ultimately they're fighting a war that cannot be won, and that war is against reality, and they will lose. I mean, of course, unless they die first, but that could happen to anybody. But long range, people that do this end up losing.
Yeah, I'll agree with that, Michael. It's a short-term gain for a long-term loss. But politics doesn't seem to be focused on long-term gains. They're only interested in the next election cycle, which, Rand talked about that quite a bit, how the interests of politicians don't really see beyond the election cycle, but the interests of businessmen go on and on and on for decades, since they have to project wins and losses over a long period of time. Their interests extend much further, and that's why I put my hat in the game for those guys, not the politicians. Rand thought that Marxism is clean compared to racial tribalism. What do you think of that, Michael? Clean.
I think he's referencing Ayn Rand's article on racism from virtuous selfishness. I wish I had it next to me. Unfortunately, I do not. Well, I don't know. You're talking about bad. What do I got here? Some kind of a notification. Okay. You're talking about bad viewpoints, despicable viewpoints. I suppose you could have a situation where somebody's an honest Marxist that is working their way through philosophy, and they basically stop there. But the same could be said of racism. There's something that strikes me worse about racial tribalism, but I've not done the deep dive into it to really come to a sound conclusion on it. It's just not something. I think they're both bad, so I'm not going to spend my time investigating which happens to be relatively worse.
Yeah, I mean, just going off the cuff, I would say, they're both forms of determinism, and they both rob human beings of moral agency. But I mean, Marx is a system of thinking, and racism is sort of anti-thought. So in a sense, it's the worst form of collectivism out of the two. But yeah, I don't like making those kinds of determinations. I mean, they're both just awful deterministic ways of looking at human beings, and I think they should both go. Michael, do you want to hit another article?
I do. I was hoping that this was online. It is. I'm going to look up this racism. I'm going to give you the article, and then I'm going to look at the racism and see if I can find the exact quote.
Yeah. As to the stagnation under tribal rule, just take a look at the Balkans. Yeah. So you guys are going to see the new Avatar movie this weekend. I can't take Avatar.
I didn't watch the first one.
I did. It's gross. It's primitive. It's the worship of the primitive. James Cameron really, like, if you watch Titanic is unwatchable to me. It's just so obviously sets up classes and pretends that the upper class have no virtue and the lower class have virtue just because.
Listen,
they're in.
Kate Winslet is hot, and you know it.
She's terrible. No, brother. I can't.
What about the loaded language of protectionism? You can give us a little something on that, and let me look this up real quick.
Well, I have to see if I can actually call it up on my thing here.
No.
Yeah, it's because I'm having issues with my internet. Oh, this came up right away. All right, folks. So yeah, the politicians, of course, don't have your best interests in mind. They like to fuck around with language a lot, and they use it to, of course, increase their power. And they do that by using language in such a way as to make you think that something is bad that's really good. And so when they want that good thing to seem bad, they make that good thing seem bad by, linguistic grifting. And there's a few ways they do this with respect to trade. Now, the article is in Reason Magazine, the Daily Economy, and I think you should post this article, Michael, because I think it's really informative for people. Who did you post it on X?
No, but you can post it.
I guess I could.
Yeah, I don't have a monopoly on posting.
So the article talks about how certain types of language are used in economics to project a certain image so that they can increase their power, their political power, but they don't represent what's actually happening. One of those terms is a trade deficit. Of course, we've been talking about trade deficits here for a long time, that it actually doesn't represent a loss, which they try to make it seem, as if the outgoing money is somehow a loss, that you get no benefit from it. The incoming money is somehow a gain, even though you probably get no benefit from it. They try to paint it so that trade deficits actually mean something, and they don't, folks. The outgoing money doesn't represent the benefits to the American people. And so really there should be no problem with the fact that you have trade deficits with organizations or with other countries at all, because they're importing a product that you want, and they're importing it more effectively and more cheaply and giving you access to it better than your native country could. So the fact that you actually export dollars to them doesn't make you poorer at all. In fact, you are richer for the exchange, and that's why you make the exchange. What do you think of that, Michael?
Yeah, he also talked about dumping of products, and how what that actually means is we get lower prices, or concessions, where the concession means that somebody has agreed to allow you to be freer, that you're now going to have you're going to have a freer economy. So but language means a lot. I mean, if you go back, for instance, to the Federalist and Anti-Federalist, right? The Federalists took the name Federalists, which actually would have been a better description of the people who became known as the Anti-Federalists, people for more local control, not a strong central government. But the Federalists took the word, and then the Anti-Federalists are stuck with, this Anti-Federalist, which is clunky. And it, who knows how much it actually affects, but it's said to. You look at the term liberal, what once meant one thing, and then it comes along and makes it another. And then when liberal goes, it starts to have a bad rap, they start calling themselves progressives, right? So language does matter. And the way that the whole discussion around protectionism and free trade, it's really a shame the way that the language is used in this regard.
Yeah, one of the things that they pointed out was that the made in labels, made in Taiwan, made in China, made in the USA, are also misleading. And there's a great little thing I wanted to quote from the article. In today's global economy, the great majority of the manufactured goods that you consume consist of parts and ideas from around the world, including the US. A made in label on some good tells you only where that good's final assembly occurred. Bath towels at Target labeled made in Turkey might well be made of cotton grown in Texas, dyed with pigments from Germany, woven on a loom made in India, and shipped to the US in a freighter made in Korea that is carrying a shipping container manufactured in Denmark. That label would be more accurate if it instead read final processing done in Turkey. Or more accurately still, made on Earth. Ooh, my God, Michael, that sounds terribly like globalism. Globalism, which is, according to the conservatives, is going to kill us. But no, it's not. It actually makes us better, folks. World trade, open trade with the world is a good thing for all of us. Protectionism is a terrible thing. It prevents us from getting products. It makes things more expensive. It makes us less innovative because we're not open to competition. All of those things are bad for Americans. What is America? What's Americanism? Open trade with every country. Provided the left didn't steal liberalism, the liberals of today are the liberals of yesterday. Are the liberals of yesterday consumed by their contradictions? What do you think of that?
I think it's wrong, but I would have to hear out the argument. First of all, I don't know who I don't think that, for instance, Ludwig von Mises leads to collectivism or leads to modern liberalism in any stretch of the imagination. I don't think John Locke leads to modern liberalism. And these are traditionally the liberals, the British liberals, John Locke, Herbert Spencer, for instance, or Frederick Bastiat. I don't think there's anything about these guys that ultimately leads to modern day liberalism, but I'd have to hear the actual argument and go beyond just the comment on the screen.
What do you go ahead?
It says political globalism is more about giving the UN and World Economic more authority over us. That's all going to depend on what you mean by globalism, right?
Well, it's clear the conservatives conflate the two. They conflate economic.
This is true.
With political control, and that's how they get away with bad mouthing globalism. And Michael, that's where language matters again, because globalism could just is a term. Would you call that what is the term I'm looking for? A package deal. They're package dealing the concept of globalism, a good concept of world economic trade with the bad concept of political control by a single entity and authoritarianism, and killing the good concept by its marriage to the bad concept.
Yes.
And so the bad concept wins out overall in that, unfortunately for us, because open borders and free trade are a good thing for us, not this closed crazy stuff that we're experiencing today. Yes, liberalism was consumed by Marxism, and now Marxism is consuming conservatism, and of course its inherent contradictions could make it fall apart, but not before it ends up harming all of us, which is why you have to join the American Capitalist Party. Go to AmericanCapitalistParty.org and be a part of the change, folks. We are the true progressives. of the world. We are the true liberals of the world.
I have just posted the article about the corrupt language of protectionism. I've posted it to both X and Facebook. So I have once again done the yeoman's work on this issue.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to look. Hey, are you going to watch the Anthony Joshua fight tonight with Jake Paul by any chance?
No. Is that a pay-per-view event?
I think it's on Netflix.
Really?
Yeah. That's how things work nowadays, mostly. I don't even know if they have pay-per-view anymore.
Well, they just stopped. ESPN just stopped its pay-per-view for UFC, which I'm glad, because they're going to Paramount. Is that what they're going to? Yeah, something like that. And so now we're going to get UFC, I guess, for free, which is great. I love that. Because I pay like $80. I pay $80 for a ESPN membership or something, and I have to pay an additional $80 per fight. It's nuts. And you get like 2 of those fights a month. It's crazy.
I'm trying to find an article that I wrote. So try to get people talking for a minute here.
Well, it says here all the boxers are selling their legacies. Well, maybe they just need money. You know, I mean, why did Floyd do it? Yeah, Floyd Mayweather. Even if you're worth $160 million, it doesn't mean you can't run through that in a single lifetime. So maybe Floyd is promoting something. Maybe he wanted to, beef up his pocketbook because it's getting a little slim now that he's retired. Tyson, I know he's run through at least one fortune, and so it's possible he's trying to rebuild his brand in some way, and that's why he did it. Although I don't see how that fight actually rebuilt his brand. It looked terrible from what I understand. Is pirating of old games that are no longer available anywhere moral? Michael, what do you think of that? Would it be considered pirating of like an old game that you can't get anywhere anymore? It's probably doesn't have any more.
If there's no copyright for it, then who cares? I mean, if there's no copyright or patent left on it, then I don't see the issue. I generally like broad questions like that. It's almost like the one earlier about the liberalism. I want more info on what's before like generally speaking, I would say if a copyright and patent has run out, then there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't know the specifics.
Yeah.
Oh, if they're still patented, well, then you got to pay.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, you're stealing. That's sort of the way it rolls. I don't know what's selling a legacy even means. I'm agreeing with deeper with Diego here. Individual boxers want to make money, so they have to fight and or entertain. Yeah, man, you got to make your bread. You gotta keep your bread and onions on the table. Keep the lights on. Who knows what kind of financial straits these boxers are in, or what their other gains are they think they're getting from promoting a fight like Jake Paul. Jake Paul is sort of thrown a wrench into the whole promotional scheme in a kind of a cool way, I thought, because here he is, an internet guy who has a big following, who gets these massive promotions done, and he sort of takes it out of the hands of these big promoters, and he's changed the nature of the argument now. So and the industry and the way the industry can go, which I think is a potentially interesting innovation. I'd like to see where this goes in the future. I mean, him fighting guys who are past their prime, I don't know why people are still paying for it. I think they just want to see him get his ass kicked. But, he's doing something interesting to the business.
Well, people are willing to pay for it. But at the same time, I think if these fights are fixed, then it's fraud.
Yes. Yeah. And it did look like one time Mayweather did a check left hook on Jake, and it looked like he rattled him. I mean, this is a guy Jake probably outweighs Floyd by 50 pounds. And it looked like Floyd tied him up and then held him up at the same time. And, it didn't look like Tyson was throwing, not really throwing. So, if it is fraud, if these things are fixed, then yeah, that's fucked up. I don't watch them anyway because they just look like terribly uninteresting fights.
See, this is what I mean. Like they're getting into this stuff. I don't even know what a game dev is. They're saying game devs typically do not hold the copyright. That's usually a big corporation. Or sometimes
developer.
Oh, okay.
130 verbal IQ Remember that, Michael. Like
Well, here's the thing. Even if you can't get them any longer, doesn't mean now that you should be able to take that person's idea and development and profit off of it. Right? Because you're saying that this thing still has value. And so if it does still have value and you're able to, gain money for it, then you should compensate the person whose idea it is.
I agree with you. Yes, Akira, I am more of a UFC guy now. I used to be a boxing guy, but the boxers weren't fighting each other. And at least in the UFC, the way the promotion is set up, not necessarily fighter friendly, but certainly crowd friendly, because they do try to put up matches that people want to see. And nobody ducks anybody to keep the price rising. As they get out there and they fight immediately. And I like that about that body. It's not pro fighter though, unfortunately. Those guys are notoriously make very little money and almost have no future unless they get in the top 10 or even become champion. Right? I mean,
really?
I feel like that. Yeah. I mean, from the early stages, early on, I don't think. I mean, there's probably, since there's a greater value for MMA now than there was in the 90s when this started. So in a way, these guys can start gyms and maybe make some money off of some promotions. But it looks
who's KSI?
What is KSI? I don't know. I don't know what KSI is.
Well, you got to tell us who he is.
I want KSI to do a UFC. Who is KSI?
He's a streamer and an asshole.
To do UFC so that someone will properly put him on his ass. Yeah. Okay. Who is this guy? Somebody show us a picture of this dude. Do you have another article, Michael? We've got 8 minutes left in the segment, and I want to make sure we get some of these articles out before we. All right.
Hold on. Hold your horses. How about the Democrats with this autopsy they did on why they lost the 2024 presidential election, and they don't want to let anyone know what's in the autopsy. And there's people out there who think that the reason they don't want anybody to know is because they want to protect Kamala Harris should she run in 2028. I can't imagine anybody wanting her to run in 2028, but that's me.
I can't imagine anybody wanting her to run in 2028. And I can't imagine the DNC being so stupid as to try to protect her so that she has the capacity to run in 2028. I mean, right now, AOC seems to be the front runner. They're going towards towards moral consistency right now, right? They're heading towards democratic socialism, which is the way they're going to go if they want to be morally consistent. And so I think she's going to be their person, unless somebody comes out of the woodworks that I'm not familiar with. She seems to be the most charismatic and interesting and dynamic member of the squad to have the biggest national appeal. And I think she will appeal to a pretty wide swath of voters out there in America, especially after dealing with 4 years of Trump and whatever the hell he's going to give us in the next 3 years.
So there's a question from the audience that asks what we think of Georgeism. So Georgeism refers to the economic teachings of Henry George. I've never read long works by George. I've never personally read them. I've read excerpts. I've read summaries. From what I understand, Albert J. Nock has been influenced by Henry George. I will tell you from what I know of it, but if I get something wrong, understand that I've never actually read his larger book, Henry George. I can't even remember the name, but off the top of my head. But basically, Henry George argues that the government should only be funded by taxes on land, that human beings can't really gain property in land, and therefore the government is just in taxing land ownership, and that's how the government should be funded. If I've got that wrong, I apologize, but if I've gotten that right, I'm completely against it, and I disagree that people can't own land. I believe in homesteading, and I don't think that the government ought to be taxing people based on it. Yes, Progress and Poverty is the name of the book. So if I summarized him wrong, I don't know how to say your name, but if I've summarized him wrongly, then just tell me. But if I got it right, I'm opposed to it.
Poikalas. Yeah, I've never read Henry George at all. So I can't really speak with any authority on this, but from the picture you've painted, Michael, it doesn't sound bright to me. The picture is not bright.
What year was this? I ask.
Late 19th century.
I ask. Yes, I believe so. I ask because only landowners in the first years of the Republic. His argument isn't that there isn't actually ascribed land, just that it wouldn't be a right in the sense of a moral ownership, that you could tape off a given area and say this is owned, but they didn't believe he didn't believe that this was an actual legitimate form of ownership. I guess would be the best way to put it. Julia Collins says, why wasn't the brown assassin a Muslim? I wouldn't read that if I were you. No, she was here yesterday. She came in at the end with some weird comments. I don't really know what her deal is, and she's obviously free to watch the show and free to put her comments in, but
I still want to answer it why it's not bad.
Okay, but can we do the super chat yet?
Yeah, go ahead.
From Robert Naser, have you decided on next week's show schedule yet? We haven't.
Yeah, I think we'll probably be out for Christmas, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but on
I personally would do Christmas because I'm a trooper.
Yeah, well, you also don't have a wife who you haven't seen in months, so I think I should probably hang out with her and cook Christmas dinner and all that stuff, which will take all day, by the way, because we're going to do this. She wants some traditional things, so it's going to be crazy. And
Henry George died. Henry George died in 1897.
Anyway, I wanted to say that it's not inappropriate when somebody murders folks associated with Jews to think that they are either Muslim or somehow associated with Islamic ideals. Whether they're a Muslim or not doesn't necessarily matter, but they're certainly associated with those ideas. It's not irrational to make that kind of presumption. As an investigator, you probably shouldn't. And as a politician, you shouldn't throw that out there before all the evidence gets on there. But as a citizen, you can make those assumptions because I think since 9/11, the Muslim terrorists have committed somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 or 70,000 acts of terror against fellow Muslims and Christians and Jews alike. So it's not an irrational conclusion to come to, So we're all convinced it was Mustafa. We're not convinced, but it's not an unreasonable assumption.
Robin Yehud says, when are we online usually? So, because he or she just came across us. We are online every weekday from 12 to 1. We do this show. Eastern time, yes. Normal time. And then on 2:30 p.m. Eastern time every day, I do a show called Everyday Ethics. And I also do The Rational Egoist. And Mark and I also do a show on the weekends called Self-Made Soul. But if you're asking just about this show, it is on every day, 12 to 1.
12 to 1 Eastern time, 9 a.m.
Eastern time, yes.
Pacific time, the actual time. Even though my biological clock is all thrown off because I've been hopping between the East and West Coast every week, so I am exhausted.
I don't think that's biological clock, Mark. I think you're talking about your biological rhythms. Biological clock refers to when women stop having babies.
Oh, okay. Well, I've stopped having babies.
Well, I don't know about Persephone because she had one screaming in the house. She said she kidnapped the neighbor's kid. I don't know. But anyway, let me just read about Henry George real quickly here. Henry George was an American political economist and social philosopher and journalist. His writing was immensely popular in the 19th century. He sparked several reform movements of the progressive era. He inspired the economic philosophy known as Georgeism, the belief that people should own the value they produce themselves, but that the economic value of land, including natural resources, should belong equally to all members of society. He famously argued that a single tax on land values would create a more productive and just society. So it seems that I did a decent job of summarizing him. Yes, we do have guests coming up. We've got on December 30th, we've got the Libertarian candidate for governor in New York, Larry Sharpe, is going to be here. On January 9th, we've got Van Skin, the economist. So yes, and we'll, I'm sure, have other guests as well.
Are we a team show, Michael? Yes, we are, but I frequently have to go off to work, so I miss the show from time to time. But
why? What do you do for work?
I'm an actor. Yeah, that's right, baby.
Hey, did you see the thing that Subby sent us in the group chat, like fake mustaches?
Yes, I did. I saw.
All right, give the capitalist thought of the day.
Never gonna let me get over my mustache.
Never. Why would we ever do that?
Doesn't know. This is for something I'm working on, and I can't get rid of it until March. And then I am going to shave it off publicly. That will be. Maybe I should shave it. I'll shave it off right now.
Should I share this with the group? Nah, probably not. Okay, go ahead and give the capitalist thought of the day.
You can't do that to me after saying something like that.
I had an argument at a party. All right, I had an argument at a party with all the guys there.
About mustaches?
No, all the guys there said that they were into manscaping, and I said, dude, that's just weird. And it turned into a big thing.
That's the whole thing. All right, guys. So I think the couple of the articles that we read today really bring out the tribalism of the left and right. I hope you guys all recognize that the left and right are not different. Essentially, they're both collectivist. They just have different tribes that they prefer to enrich with their political strength. And we as capitalists see the individual as the smallest minority in the world and the one that needs to be protected through government, through a government organized around the principle of individual rights. And that you as an individual are a sovereign being who has complete and total authority over what you do with your life and property, provided you don't hurt other people. That is the kind of world that we are trying to make happen again. Or we can't say again, Michael, because it's never quite ever happened. But to the degree that it has, you've seen. What did you laugh at? You've seen civilization really flourish to the degree that liberty has been out there in the world and liberalism has been out there in the world. The ideals that we promote, there's been human flourishing. So that's the world that we want to see, folks. One in which the government protects individual rights and stays out of your life in every other choice that you make. Yeah, Michael, what was so funny?
Just read the comment. Don't make me repeat this. It's from Deeper with Diego, so you can already imagine.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah. All right. So my question is this. Please go to YouTube and answer the question. It helps with the algorithm. Have you checked out my show, Everyday Ethics? I think it's great. The people that have tuned in so far think it's great. I'm hoping I can get Mark to tune in sometime.
I did. I tuned in yesterday.
Right.
It was really good.
It's on every day at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, 11:30 Pacific. Please check it out. So that's the question.
Make sure. Oh God! Make sure the chat is deteriorating, folks. Make sure you like and subscribe to this station, folks, and make sure to watch us every day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be here on Monday, and we'll be here all the way up to Christmas. Christmas, we're going to take a break. New Year's, we're going to take a break. Other than that, we will be here talking at you and promoting these principles, the principles of rational self-interest and individual rights, because they need to be out there in the world, folks. So please like and subscribe to this station. The algorithms like it. It'll promote these ideas across the country, which we need desperately right now. We'll see you on
channel. It's not station. It's channel.
Channel. Thank you very much, folks, for watching us. We'll see you on Monday. And until that time, please remember to check your premises. Peace.